What up, you nerds? Today I want to do an updated version of a video I put out last year, which is a guide for farming the most important currencies and some other stuff in D2 for solo players. A few things have changed, a few things have not, but either way, when Final Shape rolls around in June, you might get your cheeks clapped by the witness in the day one raid, but one thing you won't be is broke. Why don't we kick things off with how to farm high stat armor. Thankfully, this method hasn't changed in a while. The hands down easiest way to get high stat armor as a solo player is at the helm via the war table. You'll have to pick up the Ascendant Scepter seasonal heirloom, and then if you have the engrams from just playing the game, you can focus legendary armor pieces right there at the war table. For whatever reason, these pieces drop in the low to mid 60s, and not only that, they're often very spiky, meaning they're more likely to have 2 or 3 stats be very high, with the others being fairly low. If you're a new player or you just don't know, spiky armor like that is really beneficial for making triple 100 stat loadouts, making this a pretty quality no effort armor farm. You can also hit up the Pit of Heresy dungeon when it's the weekly featured dungeon that week. All you need to do is get a boss checkpoint, either the normal way or through a checkpoint bot. God love those people. Then just beat the boss on repeat, which admittedly can be challenging if you're a solo player, but IMO, it is one of the easier dungeon bosses to beat solo. Remember, by the way, that we do have an in-game Fireteam Finder feature now, meaning you can always just make a post and get some people to come farm with you for a little bit before going back to being a solo boy. Next up, exotic armor, and to be honest, players are eating pretty good these days in terms of being able to get new and good rolls on exotic armor. First of all, if you're a player who's missing pieces of exotic armor, I would highly recommend joining the Vex Network Discord channel and opting in on the option to get pinged by the bot when a Vex Incursion event is about to happen in-game. Reason being, Vex Incursion events will straight up give you exotic armor on a knockout system, meaning if you're missing an exotic and beat a Vex Incursion, you will straight up get that armor. Again, the Vex Network Discord helped me bang out the only 2 pieces of exotic armor that I was missing. I recommend it really highly for people who don't have a full exotic armor completion. If you have every piece of exotic armor in the game and just want a better roll, go ahead and hit up Raoul at the tower for either Advanced Decryption, which gives you a small pool of options to get armor from for an engram, glimmer, and enhancement prisms, or Precision Decryption, which IMO is your better value. Admittedly, Precision Decryption is more expensive, requiring Ascendant Shards to do, but you get to pick exactly whatever the hell you want, and the odds are pretty good that you'll get something on the high stat side. If you're gonna do that, remember to open your ghost and put on an armorer ghost mod to guarantee that you get a minimum of 10 in whatever stat you want. Because armor focusing requires exotic engrams, you're gonna want to make sure that you have those too. Thankfully, those aren't really hard to get. You can get them from just playing ritual activities from week to week, and after you reset your rank with any tower vendor one time, each additional time you hit max rank, you'll be able to get an exotic engram. If for whatever reason you need more than that, you have legendary and master lost sectors, which also have a high shot of giving you a free exotic. I have an entire lost sector calendar I've put together if you want to check that out. I'll go ahead and link that down in the pinned comment for y'all. I also have an old video that mentions if you're full up on engrams on your character and you finish a legend lost sector and the exotic engram goes to the postmaster, you can leave it there and open it up on a different day, and the exotic will decrypt into whatever type of armor is being offered on the day that you opened the exotic. That still is a handy trick, but admittedly less viable now that we straight up have armor focusing from Raoul, but it does remain an option on the table. Okay, next up, spoils of conquest and raid loot, which yes, you can farm if you are a solo player. The method involves loading up raid checkpoints from bots or launching some raids right from the beginning and opening raid chests each week on each character. Believe me, it's easier than you think, and I have an entire video dedicated to that goes into a lot of detail. I'll go ahead and link that in the pinned comment as well. Trust me, solo players, even if you don't consider yourself a raider at all, you'll still be able to follow that guide and get free spoils and free raid loot. Moving on, XP farming, first for your character and then for your weapon. For overall XP farming, you're going to want to target 2 things, weekly bounties and weekly seasonal challenges. Do as many as you can, but don't turn them in right away. Hold on to them. Each week at Tuesday Reset, your Guardian is going to get the Well-Rested buff, which pumps up the amount of XP that you get for 5 seasonal levels. And by the way, I've heard that in the past, there's been a glitch where if you have the Well-Rested buff and you just rapidly claim as many weekly seasonal challenges as you can go beyond that level 5 cap of the Well-Rested buff. I don't know if that's still a thing, but doesn't matter anyway because the method of claiming as much XP as you can each week remains the same either way. Step 1, wait for the Tuesday weekly reset for the well-rested buff. Step 2, if you can, join another player's fire team. Not mandatory, but reason being, if that player that you join has the season pass, then you'll be getting extra XP gains via that player's small fire team XP boost feature on the season pass. I know, it's a solo player guide, but again, we do have an in-game fireteam finder feature now, which sounds dumb, but you could just find somebody to quickly go to the tower with, turn in all your hoarded XP stuff, and then you can part ways. Remember, you do have to be in an actual place like the tower. For whatever reason, it won't work if you're just in orbit, which is annoying, but whatever. But then yeah, step 3, turn in all your hoarded XP bounty stuff at once. And obviously, before you do that, make sure you have blinding light turned on your ghost to get even more bonus XP for free. If you want to better keep track of what weekly bounties you can complete and hold on to, I recommend using destinyrecipes.com, which has a checklist that shows you what bounties your guardian has ready to go and what other bounties you can pick up and from who. Weekly bounties do give the most XP, but you can also do dailies if you want, up to you. For crafted weapon XP, if you're a returning player who's been out of the game for a while now, you can just level up your crafted weapons directly by cramming them full of enhancement cores. That definitely can get pricey though, so if you want to power level your weapon for free, good news! Pizza is always awesome, the jets will always suck, and Shurochi farming is always there when you need it. Head on over to the Last Wish raid, go to the Wish wall, and punch in the following code to be taken directly to the Shurochi encounter. Keep launching the encounter and farming the taken on repeat, as is tradition, and when you run out, take yourself out and relaunch the encounter. If you want to farm Shurochi as quickly and efficiently as possible, use a hunter with tether. Tethering up all the taken makes them die much quicker, but the crafted weapon you use to get the kill still gets the same overall level of XP. I've got a video on that too, which I'll also link below, should have the hunter build that you can just copy paste. Okay, next up, Bungie recently raised the overall Glimmer cap from 250k to $500,000, so if you want to make believe you're Benedict Cumberbund sitting on a big pile of coins, why don't we talk about Glimmer farming? For longtime players of D2, you might actually be sitting on a few Glimmer sources right now that you may have forgotten about, which is fine because you can just pop them whenever you need to. First thing you already may have some of would be Rainmakers in your inventory. Just go ahead and pop one on demand for an immediate 3k Glimmer. Other than that, if you go to the tower, Raoul is practically your go-to Glimmer guy. Your best option at the moment is probably to go buy 10,000 Glimmer for the low cost of just 10 legendary shards. Good deal, because remember, legendary shards are finally getting removed from the game when the final shape drops in June. Now, don't just go to Raoul right now and dump all of your shards immediately, as there's still things in D2 that you can't pick up without legendary shards. That being said, if you're low on Glimmer and high on shards, I would dump not all, but a big chunk between now and June, and then get rid of all of them before the final shape. If you're lazy like me and realized you're still holding on to Resonant and Harmonic Alloy, two crafting materials that no longer serve any purpose in the game, Raoul also has options for you to exchange those for Glimmer. Phantasmal fragments from the moon can also be turned in for Glimmer if you're sitting on a fair number of those, as well as any planetary materials you might have too much of. You may also have some random Glimmer caches sitting in your season pass if you dropped IRL Glimmer on that at the beginning of the season. For uber new D2 players who are broke AF and need Glimmer right away, I mean, you can just do what we did back in the day, although I don't recommend it. Open up your Ghost and equip both Bountiful Harvest and also Wombo Detector. Then simply go to any patrol location and just start roaming around looking for planetary materials or loot chests. That's it. Again, you gotta be really desperate to do that, but it will work. For the most part though, I'd recommend just playing the game like normal for new players. You'll build up Glimmer over time naturally, and you can also put on Ultimate Glimmer Booster on your Ghost if you feel like you really need it. Upgrade modules can't really be farmed very well, but I'm including them here in the video just so you don't think that I forgot to include them and cook my ass down in the comment section. If you need them, you can buy them directly from Banshee if you aren't completely broke, as well as getting them as a rank up reward from upping your gunsmith reputation. Tower vendors can offer upgrade mods as free rank up rewards, but I believe you have to fully reset their rank at least one time before they give you that option. Also keep in mind that if you have the season pass, you can grab a few from there as well. You can also put the modularity mod on your ghost for a shot at getting a free upgrade module after achieving victory in a ritual activity, aka if you complete a strike or from PvP or Gambit, provided that you win. There's an old method for upgrade modules that still does work, but holy shit, I do not recommend it at all. What you do is you go to the moon and find one of those random caves where there's a hive chest and a bunch of runes. When you find one, you go ahead and pop a concentrated matter gem in your inventory, then look at the runes on the chest and shoot them out of order on purpose. Doing that will summon a knight who you kill, and boom, upgrade module. You can do that as long as you have a concentrated matter gem in your inventory, but buying them will cost you 200 bright dust, and goddamn, I don't know, man, that ain't worth it to me, but you do you. Moving on to Enhancement Cores. If you're a longtime D2 player, a grizzled, emotionless vet like me, you might be sitting on a bunch of finest matter weave, which as of last year, I'm pretty sure no longer drops in the game. But if you have any, you can pop them one at a time and get one enhancement core for free. Technically, I should turn all of these in, but I don't want to sit here for 9 hours doing that, so I just pop them whenever I need to, or if I'm really bored. Outside of that, gunsmith bounties are a pretty straightforward method and can be done on each character every day, meaning if you did these bounties every day and have 3 characters, you'd get 12 free cores per day, or 4 per day if you only have 1 character or if you don't care that much. If you're really desperate, you can also find and fire up the legendary lost sector of the day and try to bang that out. Again, you really got to be down bad for cores to do that, but if the lost sector of the day isn't that bad, you could try to just blow through it a bunch back to back. Oh, also remember that the core harvest mod can be put on your ghost, which gives you bonus enhancement cores when completing ritual activities. If you're in a real tight situation, remember that Raoul can sell you 5 enhancement cores, but they will cost both Glimmer and Enhancement Prisms. Not a great deal, but it is there. Moving on, Enhancement Prisms. These are kind of a bitch to farm, but there are ways to do it. Vendors at the tower offer them as rank up rewards, which is nice, so be sure to remember to grab them when you can. If there's ever a week where Bungie's offering bonus reputation, you can try to grind that activity a bunch, reset your rank, then keep grinding to get more prisms as a new rank up reward. Remember to turn on the Prism Harvest Ghost mod if you're going to do that, which can sometimes give you more when completing ritual activities, but it will be rare. Again, I know today's video is a solo player guide, but I highly recommend keeping an eye out for any time Bungie tells you that Nightfalls are offering double loot drops. That would be an ideal time to fire up the in-game LFG feature and try to find people looking to farm Nightfalls, because again, doing that is a loot bonanza. Outside of that though, you can buy them from Raoul at the tower, either via the limited special order purchase or the material exchange option. If you enjoy playing Trials of Osiris, you fucking sadist, you can do that, as wins 5 and 7 on your card can give you prisms. Grinding Trials reputation can also give you enhancement prisms as a rank up reward. Next up, Ascendant Shards are annoyingly important in D2 in 2024, but at the very least you can hold up to 30 of them now in your inventory rather than needing to hoard them at the old postmaster. Vendors at the tower will offer an Ascendant Shard for your first full rank up with that vendor. After that though, they'll only offer an exotic engram on full rank up, so vendor rank isn't something you can farm on repeat if you want more shards. To repeat myself, if you enjoy playing Trials, 1, therapy is surprisingly cheap these days, but 2, you can go flawless, then keep your card without turning it into Saint 14 and keep playing Trials. Doing that will occasionally give you an Ascendant Shard on a win, even if your card eventually breaks, meaning in theory, you can keep doing it over and over forever, which is awesome, but again, not a farming method for everybody. Raoul at the tower will let you buy them, but at a heavy cost, 50k Glimmer and 10 prisms for 1 shard, yeesh. I'd say only do that if you really need one immediately. Like prism farming, even if you're a solo player, if the Nightfall that week is offering double loot drops, in-game LFG it up and try to get a Grandmaster farm team going, because you will get a bunch if you can pull that off. Moving on, Ascendant Alloys, which are important for weapon crafting if you didn't know. Raoul at the tower will let you exchange 10k Glimmer and 10 enhancement prisms for 1 Ascendant Alloy, but you can only do that 3 times per week. When you've hit that weekly limit, you can exchange for unlimited alloys, but at a much higher cost, 10 prisms and 50k Glimmer instead of 10k. Outside of that, the weekly Savathun's Throne World mission can drop shards, and the chance gets better the higher difficulty you go. If you're gonna do this, I would recommend waiting until the week where the mission is the Ghosts, and then farming that mission that week on repeat, as it's a little bit shorter. If you're gonna do that, hard recommend you use the in-game Fireteam Finder feature and go high difficulty for a better drop rate. The Wellspring activity on Master difficulty is also a very efficient alloy farm, but again, not really recommended to do that solo. I'd consider using the in-game Fireteam Finder if you want to give that a go, and remember that Wellspring Defend is usually a tad shorter and easier than Wellspring Attack. Finally, we come to Legendary Shards. And yeah, in before, but they're going away Fallout. True, they are going to be 100% removed from the game when the final shape drops. However, until that point, you still might need Legendary Shards in the game to do things. I still remember the week Bungie mentioned that they were going to kill that currency, and a bunch of people came into my stream freaking out because they'd already deleted all of them and were no longer able to do things like raise the energy level on their armor. So for whatever reason, if you need any Legendary Shards, you have a few options to get more. One is just play the game, and remember to dismantle any unwanted gear as it piles up in the Postmaster. If you're gonna do that, be sure to turn on the Prosperity Ghost mod in order to get more legendary gear when playing the game, which you can then continue to break down. Another good method is to farm Dares of Eternity while also completing Star Horse bounties in order to get Paraversal Halls. When opened, Paraversal Halls can give you a bunch of extra gear, which can be broken down into Legendary Shards. Dares can also reward you with treasure keys, which can give you loot from Xur's treasure hoard, which again, you can just break down into Legendary Shards. There's also going to be times where Bungie makes a big whoopsie, and you can just pull certain items from collections or from a vendor and then just break them down for free shards, and then do that over and over. Just about a week ago, there was apparently a glitch where you could do that, which has since been turned off by Bungie. You gotta be really on the lookout for those, but when they do pop up, go to town, because Bungie has gone on the record saying that they won't punish their player base for taking advantage of in-game mistakes like that. Be sure to go ahead and ring the notification bell on my channel, because if any in-game stuff like that does pop up, and I'm around to catch it before Bungie figures out what's going on, I'll be sure to let you know. In the meantime, if you have any additional farms you want your fellow solo guardians to know about, go ahead and share them down in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. Peace!